Warning: the following recipe contains ingredients that, if eaten in high enough quantities, can be dangerous to one's health. Please view the description for a note on this subject. If you do attempt this recipe at home, please refrain from using apple seeds. Trust me, they're not worth it. Viewer discretion is advised. Salvete Ovidentes. My name is Draco, and this is Antiqua Culina, the show where I recreate ancient recipes and discuss their ingredients and history. As usual, sources are in the description. But first, a lebatum de festa. Today, another meat recipe, one enjoyed around the world to this day, the glorious, the lovely Italian meatball. More specifically, the Ostian meatball, as appears in Book 7 of the De Re Calcunaria. As you'd expect, Ostian meatballs are a savory mincemeat dish, yet with an unconventional flavor profile, as the recipe predates the tomato's introduction to Italian cuisine. On this episode, we delve into the darker parts of the Roman psyche and explore the history of Rome's eternal battle against the sea. Here is the recipe as appears in the De Re Calcunaria, with translation provided. As usual, I provide my personal translation compared to the veiling translation seen on the Penelope U Chicago website. While this recipe is a bit of a mouthful, the procedure is actually very simple. Chop the meat, mix in the spices, marinate the mixture for 3 days, and then bake. There are, however, 3 or 4 wrinkles worth addressing. First off, the meatball's flavor profile defies any modern one. I mean, either licorice root or caraway and anise. These undoubtedly will be interesting. Note that these meatballs don't have any binder or filler like milk, breadcrumbs, or egg, so they'll taste and feel more like a hamburger. I have no clue what the twigs do. As for the laurel berry, many dog owners will likely know that laurel berries are poisonous to them and to humans. So why include them? More on that later. For this recipe, you'll need 1 pound meat of some type, preferably not ground, although ground will work, 1 teaspoon black pepper kernels, 1 teaspoon cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon caraway seeds or anise seeds, 1 teaspoon licorice root if you have it, 2 tablespoons pseudogarum, 1 apple's worth of seeds, about 7, the white flesh removed from the black exterior, 1/3 cup wine, grape juice, or currant liqueur, 1 tablespoon olive oil, and 2 teaspoons flour. To begin, remove the white flesh from your apple seeds. This can be done by lightly crushing the seeds with a paring knife and then scraping out the insides. Then, toast your pepper, cumin, caraway or anise, and licorice root in a pan or oven. Grind it smooth along with the apple seed flesh in a mortar and pestle or food processor. That licorice smell should be hitting you right about now and reminding you of long evenings spent in dark French cafes in the 19th century, beseeching the occult green fairy to bestow you with arcane knowledge. Then add the ground meat and mix thoroughly. If you're using uncut meat, use a knife to chop it finely before doing so. This will result in a rougher, more authentic textured meatball. Then cover and marinate the mixture in the fridge for up to 3 days. Afterwards, taking them out and with damp hands, form the mixture into small balls, then roast them in an oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit until cooked thoroughly, around 25 minutes or so. If you want, you can flip them halfway through. While they are cooking, take your flour and olive oil and cook them in a pan until it smells like a fruity pie crust. Whisk in the spices and wine, reduce and serve for the meatballs. While you enjoy this lovely B-roll footage, let me explain to you exactly why I had you include the apple seed flesh. Cyanide. No, don't freak out. It only takes around 15 to 20 apples worth of seeds to kill you, so the cyanide in the apple seeds will provide little more than a bitter and nutty flavor, which is the exact culinary purpose that the single laurel berry was used for, as laurel berries are also rich in cyanide. I guess whoever devised this recipe wanted to make sure they didn't accidentally kill their master's guests, hence 1 berry. If you're a cook in ancient imperial Rome, you could easily lose your job, if not your life, if such a thing occurred. If poison, however, was your goal, you might want to sign up with Locusta, a famed poisoner and assassin in the 1st century CE, carried out several hits for the Emperor Nero and his mother Julia Agrippina Minor, one of the most terrifying women of that century alongside Livia, before Locusta met her end under Galba during the year of the 4 emperors. Poison of choice was, however, deadly nightshade, not cyanide. Another famed poisoner in the classical world is Mithridates VI of Pontus, but chances are you've already heard of him. Ostia, the namesake of this dish, is Rome's port city, 10 miles downriver from Rome. much like Athens' Piraeus. It spent several centuries as the main commercial and cultural outlet of Rome into the Mediterranean, including as a depot for grain arriving from Egypt and Africa. Several Romans, including Caesar and Claudius, initiated architectural reforms to turn Ostia from a silting harbor into a booming town, to moderate success until the land became malarial and had to be abandoned in late antiquity. Beneath the dark streets of Ostia dwelled mystery cults, heck-bent on carving out their own niche in the world and disseminating dangerous ideas upriver to Rome from the Greek East. Among these numbered Mithraism, the cult of Isis, and, worst of all, Christianity. In fact, the Romans had a term for this cultural and radical diffusion as Rome looked increasingly east in the late Republican period, the Orontes pouring into the Tiber, with the Orontes being the river Antioch was situated on. A modern correlation would be the Volga or the Yangtze pouring into the Mississippi. On that cheerful note, time to taste these meatballs. 1, 2, 3. No, I can't taste the apple seed. Well then, what was the point? It's an okay meatball recipe. The cumin is very strong, but frankly, it's a meatball recipe. If you're going to make this dish, I recommend the wine reduction sauce above anything else. And please, if you're going to make a meatball recipe, don't put cyanide-rich ingredients into it. Just no. So, in conclusion, let's stick to recipes that will not be a complete waste of time. And I definitely need to record more footage for these things. And to the Cohen Fellowship for providing me with the funds to make these recipes, many thanks. Take care.